firstly, if you want to import a CAD file, I'll show you how to import a CAD file. Once you go into your SketchUp, you go in Files, you say Import. Make sure that all files are selected. If not, you need to select the DWG file or the DFX. And then you can just, this is the AutoCAD file I want to import. In the options, it will tell you if you want to preserve the origin of drawings, import the materials, you'll say yes. You'll say yes to the model units and import. This is, now you have your AutoCAD file in your SketchUp. So this will be as per the measurements you have in the AutoCAD, because we have this, we have imported it in the same units. If you want to still check it, you can check it with your tape measure. If you want to scale it, you can have your guide. Say, let's say I want to scale it to 15 feet. I'll go to this, I'll say scale. I'll have to put guide. Put the guide. I'll say scale. Oh, it's scaling both. I just need this. I'll go in the group. I'll select. I'll say scale. And you can have it as your guides and you can stretch it, but you will not be you will not need the scale because we have imported it in the units. But still, if you want, you can stretch the rooms, stretch with your guides and make it to your scale. It will always give the units in the units that we have selected. So if you want dimension here, you can still check your dimensions and you can place them. Selecting that point. Yeah. So since our model is in feet and inches, it will be feet and inches. If your drawing is in mm, it will still convert it to feet and inches and you will have a scaled drawing. And then you can start making your outlines or walls to it. So let's say we will do this room today, and I'll tell you how to make the room, doors, windows, and then we'll apply the materials. This is already a group, so we will be out of the group and we will make our own group. So if you see the tags here, it already has the layers as in the ones that are in AutoCAD. So it will import all your layers into SketchUp as well. So for SketchUp, you need to make another layer because you don't want them to be in the same layer as AutoCAD. So you will say add here, and then let's say SketchUp walls. You'll activate the layer by clicking on it, or you can go to the info when you make, like, let's say I made a rectangle, make sure that it's in the SketchUp wall layer. And then we can start making the walls. So I will just make a full wall, make a full wall here, make a full wall here. Don't worry about the doors. We are going to push and pull and subtract the geometry from there. Make sure your floor is in the different layer. So we'll delete this floor and we'll only keep the walls in the SketchUp wall layer. That's my wall layer was off. We will now use the push and pull command to make our walls. So we want them 10 feet. You can double click it. It will select the same geometry and the same measurement, and you will have a wall. Make sure all the walls that you have are in the right color. So if you see a blue wall here, it means that this is the back side of the plane. We wanted the white side of the plane. So make sure your all walls are white. To change this, you will select the surface, you will right click and you will say reverse face. So we want them, all the materials that we apply should be on the white surface. Otherwise, they'll be on the back side of the plane that we don't want. So I will also do this. I'll say reverse space so that all my internal walls are now white. Now we will make our doors and windows. So we know that we have a door here. We can use our guides. And we know the height, that is 7 feet. We will draw a rectangle, make it a geometry, and then we'll use our push and pull command to push it back. Now we have a place for our doors. Similarly, we will do for the windows as well. Now, if you want to see the hidden lines, you can press you can hide it. Now we'll make a guide for our windows as well. So I'll just say T. We'll say unhide. Past. We know that our window is here. We want it at 3 feet. And we want it at 1200, say 1200 mm. I'll again make my guides so that all my geometry is in one plane. I'll draw a rectangle. I'll again use the push and pull command. And we have our window. To delete the guide again, we can go to edit, say delete guides. Now we are going to make it a group because we want our walls not to interfere with the rest of the model. So we'll select all, that is triple clicking it. We'll say make it a group, or you can press G on your keyboard and it will make it a group. So I'll do the similar thing for the window for the recording as well. So now I want the similar thing. I want a window frame. I'll have 2 window panels. So let's make the window frame first. I'll go to R. I'll draw over it. Let's make it a component, say window frame. Let's go inside. We'll use our offset command to make a frame. So I want it 2 inches. Uh, 3, 4 inches. I'll delete this face. Four inches. Now I have a window frame. Similarly, we are going to make the panels. So let's say R, I want it in the center. I'll again use my offset command. Say 2 inches. Delete the face. Now again, we have the blue face that is facing to us. So we'll select it. We'll say reverse faces. We'll give it a thickness by the push and pull command. Say to 1 inch. We'll triple click it. We'll also make it a component. Say window panel. Now, since it's a sliding window, I know that my second panel will be right behind it. So I'll move it, hit Control. I'll copy the same component and I'll place it here. We want to make the window glass now. So we'll go to the component. I will just triple click it, just make it another group outside, go in the component. Now we're going to make the panel for the glass. So I'll make a rectangle. Now you see that I'm making it in one, but it's repeating because we have made it a component. So we don't need to worry about changing it in the other as well. So white face, I'll say reverse face. Give it a thickness, say 8 mm. I'll make sure that it's again a component. So go and make it a component. Say glass. Let's say window glass. Select it. Move it to the center of the panel. So now we have a frame. We have 2 panels and we have a glass panel. We will select all that. We'll hit G or make it a group. And now we have a whole group for the window. So let's say bedroom window. Make sure you change it in your outliners so that you know what it is. So now let's also give this some handle. I'll go to the panel. If you want to hide the rest of the object and only activate the panel or the component you're working in, you can hit the J. You can hit J on your keyboard. It will hide the rest of the geometry so that you can only see the component that you're working for. I'll hit J and let's make a handle. So I want it 3 feet here. Let's make a small rectangle. Let's say I want it 4 inches. 2 inches from here. I'll make a rectangle. 4 inches, comma 1 inch, 0.5. I'll use my circle command to make a circle so that I have a base as well. Select and push pull it. I also want this as hollow, so I'll just make a rectangle here. And I have created a handle on my door. You can hit the zoom extent if you want the whole model in your screen, just like how we do in AutoCAD. Let's apply the materials for the doors and the windows and the walls now. We'll make the furniture later. So stop. Now we want to apply the materials to our doors and windows. Let's say we want to apply an aluminum finish to our door window frame. So we'll go in our group. We'll go in the component of the frame. We will go to your material tab here in your default trays. So mine is down here. You can also press D on your keyboard to activate the material tab. So this bucket will appear. I want an aluminum finish. So SketchUp already has some default materials in it. We can use that, or we can also apply our custom materials. So first, I'll show you how to do the default materials. So they already have some metal finishes. We can say aluminum. You'll activate the bucket tool by pressing B or directly pressing, clicking on the material, and you can start applying it. If you want to apply it for the whole, you can triple click it, select the whole material and apply. Make sure that it's applied on all sides. We will do it for our window pane as well. So I'll select all, go to my appeal, and we can apply it. Now for the glass, again, I'll triple click it, select the whole component, go to my glass and mirror. We already have a translucent gray glass, so we have a blue glass, let's say gray, and I'll apply it. Make sure it's applied to all your faces so that you have a whole translucent window. So you see that you can see, I can see outside. That means my glass material has been applied. Let's apply the similar thing for the door. So let's say I want to first apply it to the door frame. I'll select it all. I'll go to wood texture. We already have some wood, but let's say now I want to create my own material. If you already have a JPEG file for your wood texture, what you can do is go to create material. I'll rename the material as wood underscore door, and I'll say enter. Okay. Now you see that the door material has been already created. Now, if you want to edit it, you want to add your own own texture, you will go to edit. You will say use texture, and you can browse in your PC. So I already have some. Let's say I have a material library. Say wood. I want this texture on my door. So I'll select, I'll say okay. Now it's applied. I'll select it and apply it. Now you see that the scale is very small. If you want to adjust this scale, you can adjust it from here. So let's say 1 feet. I'll go back. I'll also apply it to my door panel. Make sure that it's applied on all sides. Now, if you want to still adjust the texture, you want to make it bigger, and you think that by changing this, you're not getting the result that you want. What you can do is you can triple click it. You can select the texture on a single face. You go to texture, you right click, go to texture and position. Now you will have a manual grid that can help you texture. So let's say I want to move the texture up and down. I want it rotated. You can select the green icon, you can rotate, you can scale it. You want this points to coincide with all your points. What you can do is hit control, you can select this point, drag it to the point you want and leave it. Select this point, drag it. Select this point, drag it. Select control and drag it. Shift and drag it, leave it, shift and drag it, leave it, shift and drag it, shift and drag it. This is generally if you have a picture or something that you just want it to coincide with your panel. You can also enlarge or adjust the texture here. I am satisfied with my look, I'll leave it. So I'll go to my handle. Let's say I want metal. I'll go to select in my keyboard. Now these are all the materials that are in your model. So that's why it's giving you in model. All the textures that you keep on adding to your model, it will appear in this in model. So materials in models, and these are all the default materials. So let's say I want metal. I will select metal anodized. I'll give it, oops. And I will give it to my handle. So that's how you apply materials in SketchUp and create your own materials. So let's say I want the walls as well as, so I'll just select all the walls. I'll go in the group, I'll select the walls. I'll go to colors. I just want a simple, maybe gray color so that we can at least see. If you want to make your own custom wall color, or you have, let's say you have your Benjamin Moore samples and you want to have that same color, you can again go to create material. You can use the you can use the color wheel, or you can go to RGB. If you have the RGB value, you can put in your RGB value and you will have the same color that you're looking for. Okay. So once you're logged in, your user info must be logged in already. Then you can go to your components. This is from the 3D warehouse. I'm showing you how to bring in components from your 3D warehouse. You can go select the component that you want. Let's say I've selected this. Now I have a bed that's from the 3D warehouse. You can rotate it. And move it. And then you can scale it as well. So this is how you bring in models from the 3D warehouse. If you are not able to download it from directly bring it from here, you can just go to your Google, type in 3D warehouse and sign in. You can sign in with your Google account as well. You don't need to pay or anything. It's a free access. In this, you will find models that have been already made by people. So what you can do is you can search for a bed. Now you will see a lot more options here. Let's say I want this bed. What I'll do is you can download it from here and save it on your PC if you want it as a separate file. Or
sorry, your screen not shared.
Oh, every time I have a different screen on. Go to Google, type in 3D warehouse. It will direct you to this site. You need to sign in. Can you see my screen? Or is it not sharing again? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. You can sign in. You can sign in with your Google account, your Yahoo account. It's free. It's on. You can search here, and you can download this for later use as well. So you can download it and keep it in your PC, or if you want it directly in your file, what you can do is you can just copy the name here. Go to your, Go to your SketchUp model, go into components, paste it. Now you'll find that the bed has appeared here. I'll download it. And it's been downloaded directly in my file. We don't need this. We'll just, it's a twin bed set. So they already have a queen and a king size. Whichever you want, you can just keep it. And then you can scale it accordingly. So you can scale it as per your drawing. Or like I said, let's say I want to place it here. I'll place it and I'll just use my reference guides and scale it to my size. Now we have downloaded a component from the 3D warehouse.
Sorry, no.
I can select, like I said, I can select the paint sample and it will activate that same color. And it will also Now, similarly, like you said, that if I want to change, let's say, the scaling of that texture, how we did it in the window, like I wanted one component to be separate and the other component to have different scale. Like you see that these grains are too much for the side table and you don't want to disturb the scaling of the door. You can also do the similar thing for the texture. You can make it a unique texture. How we made a unique component. You will select the texture. It's already, I'll select a texture and make it a unique texture. Now, if I do make it a unique texture and if I do texture position, it will select only that texture that I have selected and not the rest of the model. So if you want the texture to be different on like you want the scaling of the texture to be different for your side tables and your doors, you can do that as well. So now we have side tables, beds. We already have a shelf. You want to, let's say I want my wardrobe that I made last time. So I'll just select it. And I can place it here. And if I want to, okay, I want to scale it to this size. I've used the same block that I made in the last class. If you want to import it, you can import your file as well. So if you already have it in another file, you can do that. Now I have hidden the doors for this. If I want to activate that door, I'll again go to my outliner. I have this blue selected. That's why I can see it. I'll go to my middle wardrobe and I have hidden the panes. So I'll unhide it. Now I have my wardrobe ready as well. So we have our room modeled.